right, we're back.
Welcome back, everyone.
To the last matchup.
Yes, ninjas against ninjas.
Ninjas against ninjas. We have the Dragon Shields.
Yes, I'm playing the Amethysts. You're playing the
Blood Red.
The Blood Red.
Exactly. If you're interested in Dragon Shield products, head down the description. It's linked. We have a code for a small discount. It helps us and the channel, the project.
Best sleeves on the market. We've been playing them for years.
Yeah. Thanks to Dragon Shield for the trust and the collaboration. Let's talk about the matchup.
Yes.
You saw some... Yeah, I think the first match against Flaps was quite interesting. You managed to more or less steal the game, to be fair, on the Mulligan on 5.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that matchup, head over to that. Very, very cool round. Second game was very difficult for my pile. Now we're here with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle matchup.
Yes. So Krang Mastermind is a card that has made its way into Modern Affinity. It is, on paper, very powerful. We will see how it goes. I think we have some experience with playing Affinity in Duel Commander, and some hands you have an artifact land, you have a bunch of 0-drops, and you get to your Affinity very quickly. And some hands you struggle quite a bit to get to the higher counts of Affinity, and you need quite a bit to cast him. And there will also be situations where, you know, I have a 4-drop and another 4-drop in hand, and I'm not actually drawing many cards with Krang or too many lands. You know, there are issues, but I think on paper, the powerful draws with Krang are pretty strong.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
We'll see if we get to show those off today.
I think the history of mono blue Affinity in this format is known to most people.
Yeah.
We had... So I think the best, the most powerful one was Urza, which was banned quickly after. You played it in the final at the Zap back then.
Emery was also
very strong, also banned immediately. And then we had like some iterations with Zai. Zai is still around. Zai is unfortunately not the card that you're looking for. I was playing Reality Chip on the channel and at a tournament. I had lots of fun with the deck. The problem is you're always reliable on what's on top of your library. It's relatively hard to reconfigure your chip in order to play the cards. And also very costly. Now we had Lady Octopus, which is obviously it's an interesting card.
Definitely, but I think the biggest issue with decks like that is you need a specific combination of cards to come together for it to really work. In this case, you know, I get to just play all my artifacts out and then slam my commander and then refill. And
you have a threat with it, right?
And I have a threat with it, and I think that's a pretty strong play pattern. So we'll see how that works.
Yeah, I think Lady Octopus, many people were hyped about that one. The problem goes in a similar direction as with Azusa, that the command zone itself doesn't provide that much value. It's always dependent on the 99 around. And sometimes it's really, really powerful if she sticks to the board, and sometimes it's not. So I'm excited to see this guy.
So am I.
Maybe
this list I've thrown together and just kind of tested a little bit, but goldfished it a bit. But maybe it's not the best. Okay,
I will start.
Yes, I think that's a pretty decisive in this matchup, more than like Ketramos or Flubs.
I think against Ketramos it doesn't matter that much whether or not I start. Here it has much more impact, that's for sure.
All right, we will resolve mulligans.
And get back. Okay.
We're back.
Back to the first round.
Yes.
I'm on 7.
So am I.
So you are you? I will start the game with a swamp. Tapped. And we have a look at your hand with yours.
Okay, so I kept the hand on the basis of this card a little bit, which is likely what you're going to take. I have a Shield Sphere, a Winter Moon, a Surveillance Cam, and a Sojourner's Companion. I'm guessing you're taking the Washer.
That's an interesting hand. So this one is an artifact too. Winter Moon is not really my concern, I would say. I guess I take the Wash away. Okay. Then you can proceed.
Yeah, I will untap, I will draw, and I will pass the turn.
No Shield Sphere.
No, I think you have a removal, and I can play the Shield Sphere.
I will play a Jada.
Ooh. Yeah.
That's good.
The decay tokens, do they die when they become tapped or when they become...
No, when I attack then
yeah.
decay triggers.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I will play that, pass the turn.
Yeah, I think for the development of my board, I do want to play the Surveillance Cam. I guess I'll tap the druid, whatever.
Go ahead.
I will draw. I will... I'll play the second island and play a Arcbound Ravager.
That's a good card.
Pass the turn.
All right. Then I draw a card.
Actually, sorry, I will cast the Shield Sphere
also
as well.
Yep, that makes sense. Then I think I have a pretty good interaction. I will attack with the token.
No block. Oh, no, yeah, I can block. I can block with the Shield Sphere.
Even, yeah. Yeah, then the token dies, end of combat. Then it gets a counter, right? If it blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have an Urza Saga, and I will proceed with a Contamination.
That's pretty good.
That's a good one, right?
Yeah.
End of turn, I make a token.
Yep.
And I pass the turn.
All right. I have only black mana. I'll play a Treasure Vault.
Yep.
I will play a Sojourner's Companion. 4 artifacts.
Yep.
And
yep, you have it.
I'll attack with the Ravager. So it has 1+1/+1 counter on it.
Block.
Block with Jada.
Yep.
I will sack the Shield Sphere.
Yep.
To put a +1/+1
and this
counter.
one dies.
Yeah.
Upkeep.
Yeah.
Sacrifice. Draw card. This one ticks up. I'll cast a Unearth on a Jada.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pass the turn.
Okay. I will draw.
I have a trigger end of turn.
Yeah.
So this is not the correct zombie, but couldn't find the decay zombie. It doesn't matter, I think.
I'll play an Inventor's Fair.
Yep.
And a Winter Moon.
Yep.
And then attack with my 4/4.
Okay, take 4.
Oh, wait, no, not attack with the...
With both of them.
With both of them.
Yeah, then I take 6 even.
Yeah, your turn.
And of turn I make a token.
Yep.
There we go. Upkeep, I sacrifice this guy.
Yeah.
Then I draw. Yeah, I think I will make another one. Maybe you can, or should be somewhere. Here we go. Then I will search myself a card. Yeah. Then I think I'm going to equip one of those. And end of turn, make the token.
Okay.
And I will pass the turn.
Okay. I will untap. Upkeep. I will gain a life.
Yep. Quite a costly turn, actually.
And draw a card. So I think I'll just pass.
Okay. Upkeep, I will sacrifice that. Draw a card. I will cast Super Shredder.
Yep.
I will go to combat.
Yep.
Attack with the 4/4 construct.
4/4 because you've got 3 artifacts.
Yep.
It's +1/+1.
Exactly.
I want to be able to block the Super Shredder, so I think I will just take the 4 damage.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I will Ghost Quarter your Inventor Sphere.
Yeah. I'll float a mana.
Okay. Then I have 2 triggers on the Shredder.
Yeah.
And then second main, I would like to...
before you...
Okay, sorry.
We're already second main, because you attacked.
That's correct.
So, yeah.
But I would like to re-equip
Okay.
this one here.
Yeah, and when you change phases, I would like to do something.
You probably want to crack the treasure vault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have now the ability to make 2 mana, 2 treasures with the treasure vault.
Yeah.
Here we go. 2 treasures.
Mm-hmm.
You have another trigger. You have another trigger on the shredder.
Yeah. Thank you. And then I pass a turn and I make a zombie end of turn.
Yeah. I will draw for turn.
Mm-hmm.
Now the issue is, how do I just don't have enough blue mana to do things. I think I have to rely on the top of my library a little bit. I'll play a welding jar.
Okay.
And cast my commander.
Yeah.
Then you have another 2 trigger triggers.
Yeah. So for anyone who's wondering, you put the spell on stack.
Yeah.
And then you determine the cost.
Yeah.
And at that point, it only costs 2 blue.
Yeah.
And then Samuel can pay the mana by cracking 2 treasure tokens.
Yeah. Then I draw 2 from the
trigger.
From the trigger. I have
another swamp.
And now I can play a winter orb.
Okay. Not bad, I guess.
And yeah, keep playing colorless magic. Your turn.
Upkeep sec. Trigger. Draw card. Will play a land. I will go to combat. What is the best block that you can provide now? I will just attack with the construct.
Yeah, I think I'll block with the companion. And regenerate the companion.
Okay. Then I gain 4 life.
You have 2 triggers for the shredder.
Yeah, correct. So unless you have like an Ether spell bomb.
And the blue mana to crack it.
And the blue mana to crack it, I can grow this guy insanely big.
Yeah. So I untap 1 land.
I have a trigger at end of turn.
Draw a card. But yeah, I don't think I'm really gonna be able to get out of this. So Krang is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6, 4. Not very big in
it gets +1, yeah.
Super Shredder.
For each other artifact, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Pass the turn.
Upkeep. Sacrifice the token. Have a trigger.
You untap only 1 land.
Yeah, that's correct. Like that. Then I draw. I will just make the token and pass a turn.
Okay.
And grind my way through the winter orb.
Yeah. This is not the card I'm looking for. I will play a Jeweled Amulet.
You can store a colored mana, which is black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll pass the turn.
All right. Untap, upkeep, trigger. So many counters. Draw a card. Then I think now it's maybe time to go in combat. It's 11. 11 is definitely harder. I will attack. At some point I have to try to win the game.
No Shadow Spear equip.
No Shadow Spear equip. No.
Yeah, no blocks.
No blocks. Okay. Then you take fetch.
Yeah.
One more. Then you take 12.
Yeah, I got a 5.
And then I pass the turn and make a token end of turn.
Yeah. I will
store a black mana.
Put a black mana in here.
Hey. Awesome.
Then draw for turn. Oh.
Oh?
I will play an Arcane Signet.
Arcane Signet is not bad, yeah. Will I respond to that? Yeah, I think in response I will cast the Felder Profane on Krang.
I will daze. Yeah.
Then Krang is dead.
Then Krang is dead.
Then I have a trigger.
Then I will replay the island.
Yeah. So this is here.
This is on the field. But yeah, I will pass the turn.
Mm-hmm. This one goes away. All these things will stay. Draw a card. This guy is untapped, by the way. Has a heavy load.
Yeah, so unfortunate the Felder Profane happened around days. So late in the game.
Yeah.
I should have. Can we sack the?
It's okay. Yeah.
Response. Sack the Krang.
Go to combat.
Uh,
Crack your surveillance.
Yeah, crack surveillance using the black mana here.
Okay.
To draw 2 cards and tap.
Tap it. Yeah.
It grows by 1.
Yeah. Then I will play another menace creature.
Yep.
Which is not too bad. We will see how impactful it is. End of turn, make the token, pass.
Yeah. Sorry, I only untap 1 land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was too many blue spells.
Okay. What did you have in hand? What are the rest? Yeah, unable to scream.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite do the job.
I mean, I had no blue mana for so long.
I mean, you could have cast it now, and then you can at least block it for 2 more turns.
It doesn't matter.
But then I have another menace creature. Yeah, exactly.
And it tramples for.
Yeah. Over the rest of your boys. Yeah. That's one way to win against Affinity.
Yeah. If I can't cast my spells, then
it's hard to win the game, I would say.
Win the game, yeah.
We will go over to round 2.
All right. Game 2.
Yes.
First one was a very long battle against contamination, which I ended up losing. We've both kept 7.
Yeah. Will be.
I will start us off with a Ghost Vacuum.
Okay.
And pass the turn.
Yep. I will start us off with a Nihil Spellbomb.
That's a good card.
Pass the turn.
Tap, draw. I will play land and an Aether Spellbomb. And pass the turn.
All right. Draw a card. I will play a land, play a bauble.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
And then I cast my commander.
Yeah.
Pass the turn, actually.
All right. Untap. Draw. play a land, and then I would like to play Unable to Scream on the Super Shredder.
I will fetch in response. I will not fetch. Crack this in response. Have a trigger on him. That's okay. Then it's a 1/3. That doesn't do much.
Yeah, and I will play a 0/3 to block the 1/3.
Crazy.
Your turn.
That is crazy.
So here we have this kind of weird middle ground that this deck is going to have a lot of the time, where I have no fast stuff, 3 artifacts in play, which means...
How long goodbye your mediocre 0/3.
Yeah, so now I have even less artifacts in play.
Attack for 1.
Take 1.
Go ahead.
End of turn, exile Bobble.
Exile my Bobble.
Draw. Play a Patchwork Automaton. Pass the turn.
Oh, I think I forgot to draw for the Bobble. This one in my upkeep.
Yeah.
I think because I only drew the long goodbye last turn.
Yeah. No, you drew in my turn. I untapped.
No,
you said draw.
I cracked this one end of your turn.
No, you
in response to the Unable to Scream.
Ah, okay.
So I forgot to draw in my...
Okay.
Yeah, this one resolves.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Then I will crack that and exile your thing to draw another card. Unable to Scream. Yeah, it's a bit of a slow play, but I think I don't want you to get any value off of that Urza's Cave.
Okay.
So we will... Does it enter tapped or untapped?
Untapped.
Okay. You and your Japanese cards.
Yeah.
To my excuse, it's just part of the collection. And then I don't have to attack. I can just pass the turn, I guess.
Okay, end of turn, I will exile the Nihil Spellbook.
Yeah. You don't let me go for my
draw for turn.
Cool things here.
Play a land and a Nettle Cyst. Trigger Automaton, and it comes with a germ.
Yeah.
Then I'll pass the turn.
Okay. Draw a card. Okay. We are at that stage of the game again, ladies and gentlemen. I will hardcast a Grief.
Yeah, you will take a Spell Pierce.
And
you have played around magnificently so far.
Crazy play around. Pass the turn.
I think I will exile the Long Goodbye.
Yeah, on your response, I will just fetch to maybe thin out my deck. You can go.
Draw. I'll cast a Winter Orb. Trigger.
Oh. Yeah.
Then I would like to go to combat and attack 4/5.
I will block.
Yeah.
Before damage, I would like to Malakir it.
Okay, so it goes to the graveyard.
Yeah.
I will exile it.
Yeah.
And you lose 2 life.
Yeah. That is correct. Yeah, the Ghost Vacuum. My turn, right?
Yeah.
We can go to game 3. This is so insane. Like, how can you flood so much? Whoops. Yeah, under the Winter Orb, under that conditions. I mean, I can give it 1 or 2 turns. Go ahead.
Untap.
But I'm not too optimistic, to be honest.
Draw. I will play a land. Then I have 6 artifacts in play. So I will cast Krang.
Yeah.
Trigger. ETB, trigger. Draw 4. Cast an Emery.
Mm-hmm.
Trigger. Welding Jar and Synthesizer are 2 artifacts in my graveyard now.
Yeah.
Combat. For 4 and for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah, I will block the germ and take 4. Go to 11.
Then it's your turn.
And now it's up to the board wipe.
That's a lot of lands.
It's the same as against Getramos. I'm only drawing lands. We will go over to game 3.
All right.
All right.
We have resolved mulligans.
Yep.
Game 3.
Correct.
Well, not very fast, but in the end,
Okay.
Lots of lands in your hand.
Yeah. I don't play Magic without drawing cards, so
without drawing spells. Yeah.
Without drawing spells.
Yeah.
Exactly. I will start with a swamp and pass the turn.
No grief scam. Yay.
that's
I'll play a grindstone and pass the turn.
A grindstone. Okay. If that's the standard now, yeah, why not? I will cast my commander.
That's fine.
Pass the turn.
I will untap. I will draw.
That's a beautiful grindstone.
Is
it the textured one? Yes, it's a textured one. Damn,
play a
we
Microsynth
love textured
Garden.
cards.
Play a skateboard. Tap shredder. And pass the turn.
Crazy tap. Draw a card. Fetch. Here we go.
Yeah.
No stifle?
No stifle.
Whoops. Yeet.
No stifle in the deck.
No stifle in the deck. Well, that's your fault, mate.
Well, I think it's okay.
I think so, too. Yeah, I think we'll do it that way. Also do it that way. I think I will cast a Bob.
That's a good card.
And I attack 4.
Take 2.
2. Pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. That is not what I'm looking to draw. What can I do here? I think I just play a Dust Bowl and pass.
I would like to cling my land end of turn.
That's fine.
That's fine. And I draw a card. You have a Dust Bowl. Drawing a card. Sorry. Lose to life.
Yeah.
For the Die Confident.
Yeah.
Then I draw a card.
That's a good card to know about.
Yeah, exactly.
When I cast my
and it's just fair to show it to you, I guess.
Yeah.
I have this. Could do that. Yeah, I will attack for 4.
No blocks.
And I will proceed with a Jadar.
That's a good card. Hopefully no contamination.
Yeah. Not yet. End of turn?
Yeah.
I make a token and then I pass the turn.
Okay, untap, draw. Wow, that is the wrong card right now. Absolutely the wrong card, yeah. I mean, yeah, this hand, for people that saw the hand, it was a bit risky. It's turning out very awkward. I will play a copper.
Yeah.
Trigger.
Yeah.
Your turn.
End of turn, I would like to cast the Bowmaster.
Yeah.
Ping you for 1. Search myself a Bowmaster token.
Yeah.
Whoops. Then I go to my turn. Upkeep, trigger, Dark Confident. 2. Draw another card.
Yeah, I think. Okay. Well, I think we know how this is going to end now.
I think I have an even better line that you might not see. Lily.
Yeah.
Sacrifice.
Yeah.
Trigger the Shredder. Go for combat.
Yeah.
Attack with everything.
4.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, I'll go to
13. End of combat, I have the decay trigger. Just for the lulz, animate your dude.
Okay.
Trigger.
Yeah.
And then I pass the turn.
Untap. Draw. There was that island. I will play the island. I guess I will just see if I have anything -3.
I mean, bridge doesn't do the job, right?
I don't
And
have
the
a
deck
bridge either.
doesn't play a bridge because it doesn't
it wants
really
to attack.
synergize with Krang. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there is anything.
I mean, with a bit more, like with one more turn, you could have gone for Painter.
Yeah.
Hope that it survives, win the game. In combination with Grindstone.
Absolutely.
Do you have the new Painter artwork? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
So I could have gone for Painter Grindstone.
Yeah.
But
those two look really good together, I think. Just Stone with the new guy. Der Krawattenmann, as we say in German.
Yeah. So there's nothing. My keep was
GG then.
Yeah, GG.
That's first and that. Yeah.
This was my keep. I think it's an okay keep. It's a bit top heavy, but all I found was
good
lands, a misstep, and this at the end. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
If I find a 0-drop, I can cast Kappa turn 3.
Yeah.
And then I'm in a much better position. If turn 4 I found if I had blue mana, which I didn't,
could have cast Urza. Yeah.
Just
didn't
awkward
get
draw
this
at
time.
the end there.
Okay. Yeah. I brought up some things here in this game at least. I was holding back on Lily for quite some time, just in order for you to commit to the board with one big creature, and then I can get rid of it, which you did, luckily, with the Kappa Cannoneer. Apart from that, I had like this, I think 4 lands, Jadar and Dark Configant, and I thought, this guy might flip all the lands that I'm going to draw anyways, and then I draw some value off of it.
Yeah.
It did its job. Super Shredder wasn't too big in this game, but yeah, it was enough. Interesting session. Finally, the Shredder won a game. Not much to say about that. I think this is a really cool pile. Cards have to come together.
Absolutely.
That's basically the thing around those, or the thing with such command zones. But as we said, Keteramos was maybe a bit of a meta feature. Apart from that, this focus session was rather a fun session again.
Yeah.
We had Tazigor, very serious decks in the previous one. All 3 more or less meta decks. One Chitong is not too popular, but you see Asmo every now and then. You definitely see the Reaper King.
Yeah.
And maybe the next session will be another one facing those meta decks again.
Yeah, I think this is we have to kind of strike a balance between playing the really good decks and playing some of the more fun decks. We also, it's just fun to play those decks.
Yeah, absolutely.
We enjoy it. It's
and when we enjoy Magic, it's like the entire vibe of the video is much better.
Yeah.
We would probably, I don't want to say never, but we rarely force ourselves to play decks that we really don't want to play.
Yeah. I think there's a kind of a relevant aspect to we do our tournament content.
Yeah.
And in the tournament content, we see the matchups: Spider-Man versus Tazigor, Tazigor versus...
And that's exactly why we do that, right?
Yeah.
Because we play the decks that we spend some thoughts into.
Yeah.
I mean the Tazigor list you've played now was from Ascalon, but usually we play some off-meta things or like tier 1, tier 1.5. That does not account for Tazigor or Tifa that we recently played.
Yeah.
But for example, Marcus Breyer or the Heybei that I played.
Yeah. Or the Loot.
Or Loot or whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
Or Magda and all these things. So have some spicy decks and also bring them to the field and try to win some games. But in these sessions, you see all the meta decks. You see Slamfoot, Spider-Man, blah, 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 all that stuff. So in these sessions, we're rather here to show you some fancy Magic.
Yeah. Some fun stuff, some cards we haven't seen in a while.
Exactly.
I think it's been a long time since I've had a Darksteel Citadel in a deck.
Yeah, it's been a long time that I had like Phyrexian Arena in the deck, for example, or things like that, right? And or like a Mind Twist is usually a card that you don't see too often anymore.
Yep.
Okay, thanks a lot for tuning in, guys.
And see you next time.
Yeah, see you then.